Venkat says, for families currently in renewable proceedings, what are the most effective appeal options available under the 2026 asylum framework? And how can they prepare for success in immigration court?
That's a really good question. I'm glad that it came up. So there, you can appeal, right? And so effective appeals are going to be those that are timely, obviously, and then those that are based on what happened in your specific case. And so it's super, super important that you have either legal guidance or guidance and an understanding of what it means to appeal a case in front of the Board of Immigration Appeals, specifically for asylum, but also broadly in other immigration cases. Your reasons for appeal are essentially if the immigration judge made a mistake of fact, they didn't understand or they didn't analyze a fact of your case correctly, or a mistake of law. They interpreted the law incorrectly, or usually a combination of the two. And so for it to be an effective appeal, it's really important to have an attorney who has experience writing these appeals and presenting these appeals in front of the BIA, but also has experience in the underlying type of case that you have. So if you're appealing an asylum claim, you want to make sure that your attorney feels really comfortable with asylum law. Right? It doesn't always mean that it has to be the same attorney who did your case, but should have to be somebody who really understands what the law is and the facts of your case. And so that's going to be the best way for you to make sure that you are effectively appealing. Before we move on to preparing for immigration court, I do want to say that immigration appeals right now are taking a long time. So you have 30 days after the decision to submit your appeal, but then it could be a couple of years before that appeal is finalized with the Board of Immigration Appeals. And so it is a process that does take a while, and it can be a little bit frustrating for people. For immigration court, a lot of my advice is going to be very similar, is to make sure that you have representation that, number one, has an understanding of how immigration court works, right? It's not criminal court, it's not civil court, it's an administrative body, and so the rules are a little bit different. You want to make sure that you are being represented by somebody that understands that. For an asylum specific case, you want to make sure that you have somebody that understands both asylum law, but also has a pretty good understanding of the reasons for your specific asylum claim. So what you will see is there's a lot of fantastic attorneys out there that will specialize in either countries or specialize in groups of individuals where they've really amassed a lot of knowledge about what is happening to those specific people being targeted or inside that specific country. That is always super helpful as well. Having all of your documentation in order, having everything timely filed with the immigration court, that's all important. My biggest pet peeve as an attorney is not communicating, right? Sometimes I'll have a client who, will bring me their first set of documents, and then I don't hear from them and I can't get a hold of them. And so the best thing that you can do for your immigration court case is to take an active role. Just because you hired an attorney doesn't mean that you don't have to be active and participate. Not to speak ill of any attorneys, but to be real, your case is one of many cases for me, but your case for you is your entire life and your entire case, and nobody is going to protect that better than you. So make sure that you find representation and an attorney that you feel comfortable talking to, that you feel comfortable with the explanations that they're giving to you, and that you can effectively work together. That's going to be the most important way to prepare for immigration court.